Alright, this video is going to be a lot different than the ones that I usually post, but it's going to explain why I haven't been posting on YouTube and why I seemingly have kind of fell off the earth the last year. And it's not a video that I necessarily want to make, but I feel like I need to make it to be honest and to use my experience to maybe encourage you, or at least some of you out there. But before I talk about this year, I kind of need to go back and talk about why I first started posting on YouTube in 2020 in the first place. So if you're a songwriter producer out there who is struggling to keep going, who's trying to figure out a way to make a living with their music, that was me when I first moved to Nashville. Over the last 15 years, I've done a lot of different roles, from songwriter to producer to session musician, and now I own an online business to help other musicians, producers, songwriters get better at their craft and hopefully get good enough to make a living with this. But that being said, in 2020, of course, the world shuts down with COVID. I was coming to the end of a 3-year relationship with a publisher that I was working with. That was my second publisher, about 10 years into my professional career. Before that, to kind of give you context, in 2015, at my first publisher, I had my first major breakthrough artist, Kelsea Ballerini. We had several chart-topping songs, back to back.
Yeah, boy, I wanna take a little ride with you. Yeah, boy, I wanna spend a little time with you. Yeah, boy, I wanna sip a little wine with you.
You wanna keep me like you lost it. You gonna say you make me believe it. You gonna love me more, love me like you mean it. Love me like you mean it.
From 2015 to 2018, it was a blur. There were a lot of crazy things that happened, that only the best scenario that you can imagine as a 25-year-old moving to Nashville, wanting to write and produce songs, and then experiencing hits on the radio. But I learned a lot about the music business and a lot of the political side of the music business that I saw going from different publishers. And then COVID happens 2020, the whole world shuts down. And throughout this time, I'm originally from Louisiana, but throughout this time, I've always wanted to work hard enough to where I could get my parents here. Well, in 2020, I just moved my dad from Louisiana to be here. We had just had my first son in 2018. All this is going to make sense. But he was here for probably 3 months, and I lost my dad unexpectedly at the top of 2020, April 27th, 2020. And I had a year in my publishing contract. And about 2 weeks before I lost my dad, I got the idea to create a website called Music City Playbook, start posting things online, and I was fired up those last 2 weeks. My dad got to see me fired up about kind of, a new dream. And that being said, he was so proud. He saw me accomplish some amazing things through songwriting and producing. And I was so proud that I was able to finally get him up here. But when we lost him so quickly in 2020, that kind of sent me in a spiral. This is going to be a lot of life stuff. I'm going to try not to edit this video. I'm just going to try to be real with kind of my journey. And at the end of the day, it's to inspire people to keep going. There's a lot of walls, a lot of resistance that I feel like I've experienced over the last 3 years. And as somebody who's only made music, only written songs, only produced music for his full-time living, resistance is going to be there. Struggles will be there. Personal things that you cannot control will be there. So how do you keep going in all of that? I'm still in the middle processing a lot of things myself, but let me go ahead and kind of catch you up from 2020 to right now. I started posting videos in 2020, and I really started committing to sharing my excitement for making a living with music. And this came through posting YouTube videos, doing a songwriter course, a production course, all the stuff in the early stages of sharing my excitement for making music, all to kind of encourage other people that maybe think, I have no idea how you can make a living with music. I just wanted to share my story in a way that encourages people at home or maybe in their small town. Like, if this kid can do it, then I can do it. I'm from nowhere, Louisiana. The only thing I've ever done is music. I didn't go to college. I just moved to high school in a travel. I moved to Nashville right after high school in a travel trailer to start my career. I started from the bottom. I didn't know anybody, but learning songwriter and music production kept opening doors, which eventually led me to have #1 songs, buy a house for my mom to stay in when she finally moved up here. She moved up here a few years before my dad did because we had my first son in 2018. Shout out to the moms out there that helped take care of the grandbabies, because I don't know what I would do without my mom making it up here. But back to the tragic story of losing my dad. It just kind of put me in a weird spot. I've never been in a depressed spot before. And for me as a creator and a writer, the best way to kind of battle that is to create more, to write more songs, to create courses, to create things that didn't exist before. That's how I've been rewarded in life. I've never necessarily been rewarded by showing up to a 9 to 5. I've always been rewarded by thinking of an idea, putting in a bunch of time to execute that idea, and being proud of something that didn't exist before. Now, that could be a song, that could be a website, that could be anything that you create that doesn't exist before. And that's what I love about songwriting and producing, and building songs in a DAW and writing songs with co-writers. So you walk into a room and nothing is there, nothing's on the screen, and you leave the room with something that can stream, build careers, and eventually make money. I remember April 27th when I was telling my dad goodbye. I hadn't told him at the time that my wife was pregnant again with our second baby. This is in 2020. And we didn't know at the time, in April, that my daughter, her name is Micah, that she would have a major heart defect. She would have Down syndrome.
She has a large hole in the bottom. Essentially, this diagram doesn't show it perfectly, but what an AVSD is just a big hole in the middle of the heart, right? So you have the hole between the bottom chambers, hole between the top chambers, and one common valve that opens and closes.
There were a lot of things, there was a lot of heaviness in 2020 that I go from, let me remind you, 2015, 16, 17, 18, on top of the world, #1 songs, traveling all the time, buying houses, buying boats, doing all the crazy things that you get to do whenever you have those major breakthroughs. But all of that took a major shift in 2020 by losing my dad, and then also having a daughter with a major heart defect, and figuring out, okay, I don't want to write songs for a publisher anymore. I don't want to show up every day and do this. I wasn't happy towards the end of my last publishing deal for other reasons that I don't want to really get into this video. But how can you have so much in life that you've wanted and still be unhappy? And I think a lot of this had to do with the things that I couldn't control, with losing my dad, with having a daughter that had a major heart defect and a diagnosis that will affect her life. And, it's a very, it's taken a long time to adjust. But that being said, there's been times that I have not wanted to keep going. There's been times that I didn't want to continue writing songs. I didn't want to keep making videos. And I do want to say, having this YouTube, seeing the comments, seeing the encouragement from people that are getting something from these videos has been super encouraging for me. And while over the last year, I haven't posted a lot, which I'll get to that. It's still been so reaffirming to see all the messages flash up on my phone, all the responses to the emails that I send out for those of y'all that are subscribed to the email list. For those of y'all that go to MusicCityPlaybook.com and purchase the courses and write in how much those things have helped you. Like, that has been such an encouragement for me because I haven't wanted to create, I haven't wanted to do videos, I haven't wanted to put my face on camera. You guys can see I probably gained weight this year. I've just been in a very dark, kind of depressive place. And I'm not the type of person to talk about this stuff. Like, I don't want to talk about it. I want to encourage you. You know, I want to encourage people to make music, to follow their dream, but I also have to be real with what's going on. And at the top of this year, me and my wife decided to have another kid. And it was a very tough time to learn that our second child, well, I don't want this to be confusing. I had my first kid in 2018, completely healthy. You know, a huge blessing. Like I said, I had my daughter in 2020. She had a major heart defect, was diagnosed with Down syndrome. All of this was, you know, a lot. And then to have my third child, Lakin, he also was diagnosed with a fucking heart defect. I don't know no one knows the reason. No one can tell you the reasons. Like, it's hard to talk about. It's hard to tell other people. It's just hard to be honest about that. But of course, you know, kind of feeling like I was on the upward swing from having my daughter. We're back at Vanderbilt Hospital, back having heart surgeries, back at the hospital for months at a time. This whole year we've been kind of dealing with that, and I've just been in a very low spot. I haven't wanted to produce. I haven't wanted to get on camera and make videos. I haven't wanted to do anything. And this is not supposed to be a depressing video. This is just supposed to be an honest video. Because there's a lot of times that I've wanted to quit, but I don't quit. I never have quit. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep posting. I'm going to find that fire to keep running towards my dream. And my dream is to have a website and a YouTube that helps people make music so they can get a glimpse of what it would be like if they stuck with this. And the people that quit, the ones that go home, give up, and say this is too hard, too much, those are the ones that don't make it. And I've been around, you know, professionals in Nashville long enough to see that that's the case. And so now that I'm looking into 2024, I have all these plans about leaning more back into even the traditional industry and creating more content online and really visualizing what I want to happen. But then I look back at all of the resistance and things that have happened in my life and things that I don't want to talk about, things that, you know, I haven't talked to some friends because I've been ignoring phone calls. I've been just kind of a hermit on the side of a mountain, not wanting to, you know, be exposed to the real world, just dealing with my thoughts and all that. But through all that, I've written down I've written down a plan of what I want 2024 to be. In not sharing my music, not sharing my story, not sharing what I think will help other people is not part of the plan. I have to share. I have to be more honest. I have to be more honest about my journey, where I'm at. And as hard as it's been to keep continuing with all the things that life throws at you, you know, now I'm a 33-year-old man. I have 3 kids, my mom to take care of. There's a lot of pressure there. And all I've ever done is music. So how can I look at creating again and get inspired and excited this has been a big thing, a big struggle of mine. And I just got to say, every time that I've received any type of message that has let me know that the content that I put out there has been worth the time. We've put a ton of time and effort into creating videos and all the things on the Music City Playbook website. Whenever I receive the feedback that it is helping, that it does matter, like, this is what keeps me going. And it's almost the same thing that it was when all I did was writing songs, and maybe you weren't getting cuts, or maybe somebody wasn't interested in what you were doing at the time. But that publisher, I remember a specific publisher very, very early on that told me, your plane is right on the runway. You're about to take off. Just keep with it. I know you don't see that right now, but I can see it. And having somebody else believe in you is so important. And I want to be that for other producers. With the title of this video of how to keep going when you want to quit. Quitting is just never an option. If music and having a life of freedom, meaning doing what you love, supporting the people around you, and even that location freedom of being able to be in Nashville or to be anywhere in the world and make music, that's a huge blessing and a huge gift that I don't want to take for granted. But I also want to share the realities on, it's a tough road to get here, but there's a lot of people out there that live a creative life and get to enjoy the way that they spend their time. Even whenever all the life situations that you can't control, which those things are going to happen. And I've been humbled since 2020. The past 3 years have been probably the worst of my life. But with that being said, posting videos online and starting Music City Playbook in 2020 has been the absolute best thing that has come out of this season. So I want to make this video, I guess, just to be super honest about where I've been, but also to say, I feel like I'm coming out of that depressive stage and I want to create more again. I want to be on camera and share my story and encourage others. And with the nature of this video being completely different, I don't want to make a habit out of sharing things that don't make me feel good, right? I want to have videos on my YouTube that encourage others to make music and to pursue their dream with music. The same way I've done. When I left my small town at 18 and I had no idea how to make a living with music or how that would look. There's going to be so many rough patches on that journey for yourself. And I just want to be an encouragement to you that if it's important enough for you to live this dream, there's nothing that can happen that will pull you away from it. Yes, you'll lose the job. Yes, you'll lose the gig. Yes, you'll be low on money. Yes, you'll be discouraged. You'll have all this weight of the world of how is this going to work out? How are you going to make things work out? And I think that's the way it's supposed to be. I think I've learned in this stressful season to handle that stress. Like, that's what forces creativity. I remember whenever I first moved to Nashville trying to learn how to get paid to write songs and writing every single day until I signed my first publishing deal. And it kind of is a numbers game of producing and writing over and over and over and over and failing over and over and over until you get to that gold of that song that really makes a difference, that gets cut and really takes your career to the next level. But you'll never get there if you give up. And so I want to make this video saying, I haven't given up. I'm going to still create content. I'm going to still hope that you guys support the videos, comment on the videos, visit the websites, purchase the courses, all of those things that I started whenever I started Music City Playbook. And even though life has its distractions and things that you have to kind of get through and deal with, nothing's more important than staying focused on the dream. So I want to be kind of more transparent about my life in these videos. And there won't be a ton of videos like this, but I did want to have an honest catch up and talk to you guys one-on-one with minimal edits and just be honest about my appreciation for you following this channel and supporting the content. It really means a lot to me. I can't wait to come into this new era of Music City Playbook and this new era of me, of feeling, of coming out of this funk of what was 2023 and 2022 and coming into a season of life that I'm very excited about, a season that I'm more excited to get on camera and share my thoughts, share my excitement and passion for music. And again, I just want to thank you guys for being there and supporting everything that I do. And yes, I want to encourage you. You have a dream. You're going to hit resistance. There's going to be things in life that you can't control. But one thing you don't do is you don't quit. I'm not going to quit. And I don't want you to either. So that's why I wanted to make this video.